Hey Leute und willkommen zu dieser Reaktion zum Gamescom 2021 Xbox Stream. Jede Menge Leute sind hier gerade im Stream und sagen, was sie mit der Gamescom verbindet. Und in einer Minute geht die Präsentation los. In 90 Minuten werden die neuesten Updates und Gameplay zu den kommenden Xbox-PC-Games rausgeknallt. Und das schauen wir uns gemeinsam an. Ich habe jetzt erst überlegt, ob ich warte, bis sie mit ihren Geräte fertig sind, weil mittendrin reinschalten ist halt auch irgendwie weird. Aber ich befürchte, dass es danach dann sofort losgeht, deswegen habe ich jetzt den Stream einfach angeschmissen. Herzlich willkommen! Von dem Xbox-Stand. Alles war ebenerdig. Ich weiß gar nicht, wie sie die Leute gecastet haben, oder sind das irgendwelche Streamer? Ich habe zumindest noch niemanden wiedererkannt. Die waren total aufmerksam, echt super. Aber ja, schön zu hören,
Hi, ich bin Nicole.
ne, weil Gamescom ist halt jetzt das zweite Jahr in Folge aufgrund von Corona digital. Aber das hält die Macher nicht davon ab, News rauszuhauen. Und morgen gibt es dann auch die Opening Night Live mit Jeff Keighley, da werden wir auch drauf reagieren. Da wird es dann auch wieder einige Weltpremieren und so weiter geben. Jetzt schauen wir mal, was uns Xbox so zu sagen hat. Let's go. So, ich hoffe, der Sound passt. Mach ein bisschen lauter jetzt noch. Okay, der Flugsimulator. Ja, ist mittlerweile auch auf der Series X verfügbar, ne? Habe ich Just for Fun auch schon mal angeschmissen. Ist schon ganz geil. Aber die Bitrate von dem Stream ist relativ niedrig, deswegen da nicht so sehr auf Grafik und so schließen, Leute, ne?
Welcome to our GAMESCOM 2021 Xbox stream.
We've got so many great game updates to share with you today. We're talking Age of Empires 4, Psychonauts 2, and my personal favorite, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Later on,
ja, Psychonauts haben wir gerade gezockt. Aufnahme ist auf dem Channel verfügbar.
Playground Games vision of Mexico is muy, muy bonito.
And we'll be getting our first look at the cover car for the game, Paris. I got $5 on it being one of those electric scooters that you see piled up on the sidewalk.
Will Kate win $5? I guess we're about to find out.
Yes, indeed. Our Xbox Plays team will also chat with devs and deep dive into current and upcoming games all week on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Let's get started with Techland and their upcoming zombie parkour sequel, Dying Light 2: Stay Human.
Ziemlich geiles Studio auf jeden Fall. Dying Light 2.
I am Timon Smektawa, Dying Light 2 lead game designer. And this is David Lubryka, animation director. Hi. We can't wait until December 7th to finally give you Dying Light 2 Stay Human, the game we have been working on really hard for the last few years.
We're hoping the gameplay video you're about to watch will give you a foretaste of parkour and combat systems waiting for you in the game.
And we are just about to enter the city, fighting our way through its brutal and dangerous streets. Though, as you will see in a moment, there are plenty of things you can use to your advantage. So watch closely, look for special combat and parkour moves, and check out how with just a bit of creativity you can combine the two. Ready? Let's go!
Stimmt, wie sieht es eigentlich mit Untertitel aus?
What this city looked like before all this. Probably like many others. People had their ambitions, plans, lives. Now it's all gone. The virus started it, but it was the people who made the world the way it is. This city, Villador. They tell me they had a vision. They had hope.
Ich lass mal an, okay?
But soon, one vision.
Das letzte Mal haben es die Leute vermisst.
Different ones.
Zombies.
Instead of fighting together, people stood against each other. War broke out.
Was it a little bird mit a broken leg?
Hope died.
Dying Light 1 war doch das Game, was kurze Zeit in Deutschland indiziert war, ne?
Now the city is falling.
Each time we strike down an enemy, we absorb
Also glaube ich.
their strength.
But I can't let that happen.
Ja, moin.
I need the secrets the city holds.
Fuck. Hey! Still some rats here.
Ich kenne mich ja da in dem Franchise nicht so krass aus, aber für mich sieht es einfach aus wie Mirror's Edge mit Zombies. Also meine ich nicht negativ, das ist nur eine Analyse von dem, was ich sehe. Eigentlich ganz funny.
Let's check and see.
Hoffentlich ist das auch im Game Pass. Weiß ich nicht. Aber wenn, sagen sie es mit Sicherheit. Aber es, also bei der E3-Präsentation war ja fast alles im Game Pass, daher die Chance ist schon da. Allerdings ist es ein etwas größerer Titel und ich sag mal, die haben es jetzt nicht so krass nötig. I'm not sure.
Is all hope really gone? We'll see about that.
Well, that was an exciting trip, wasn't it?
Schon nicht schlecht, Alter.
Did you notice those bandits in medieval
Ja, genau, der erste Teil war
armor
indiziert.
hustled by skyscrapers, banks and large billboards? That's what we call a modern Dark Ages.
And it's a very unique design, one very important for the plot of Dying Light 2. But there's another thing that stood out to me, all those parkour moves that you and your team has put so much effort into.
Well, all you need is a few thousand of animations,
Dying Light ist sehr
cooperation with
parkour-basiert.
professional traces,
Ja, hat man gesehen,
mockup
aber war irgendwie
sessions,
cool.
and invaluable help from
Wirke
David
sehr
Bell,
smooth.
whose face and moves player will see in the game, by the way.
No, yes, right. And we've got twice the number of parkour moves compared to the first game, and we are showing some of them in this trailer. The vault kicks being the most important to me personally.
Alter, ich liebe seine Stimme.
It brings a whole new fighting style into the game. The player can stagger an enemy and use them to perform further attacks, for example by rebounding from their bodies, jumping of them onto other foes, and so on.
I think we captured the movement really well and made it quite simple for the players to perform. I can't wait for them to try it out and tell for themselves how much they loved it.
It's definitely going to be useful. The city's buildings are higher than anything we have done before, improving its verticality. Players will need to find a way to reach those tall skyscrapers and other
Gibt's da eine
challenging
Demo
spots
oder
too.
Open Beta,
Then it's good we
irgendwas?
scattered some helpers around, like a paraglider, which can support players in both parkouring and combat.
Exactly, and it's gonna do great, especially in fights against humans, which are more frequent and important than in Dying Light 1. It's been over 20 years since the events from the first game, so people adjusted. They are much bolder now, at least during the day.
And they are more vicious too.
And I think that's a great summary of this discussion. Pre-order Dying Light 2 and explore its vast, complex world on December 7th. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Okay, kommt auch bald raus. 7. Dezember. Steht hier was im Game Pass? Nein.
For the first
Also ich sehe
time
nichts.
in the storied history of the franchise, Microsoft Flight Simulator launched on a home console.
Und vielen Dank an Domdom und Sally für die 50 Münzen und Nation. Kuss, Kuss, Kuss. Und ja, in der Tat, der Psychonauts-Stream, den könnt ihr euch ja im Anschluss nochmal anschauen, wenn ihr nicht da gewesen sein solltet. Können wir dann den Link ja nochmal am Ende reinposten.
To welcome the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, York Newman, to the stream. York, thank you for being here. The last time we met was at the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was getting ready to come out on consoles. How did that go?
It went great. As you said, the reaction to the Xbox console launch was really just amazing. Both from Xbox gamers and from the press, they've been so
Ja, also
gracious
sie
with
sind
their
sehr, sehr
feedback.
zufrieden mit
I
den
don't know if you know,
Verkaufszahlen,
but
by the way.
Flight Simulator is one of the highest rated games on Xbox this year, which I think is just great validation that the translation of the simulation to the console has really worked well. Our usage numbers are through the roof. We are absolutely shattering franchise records, and I can tell you, there have never been more people playing Flight Simulator than right now. So it's an awesome time.
That is awesome. Congratulations on the launch, really. But
all right.
I want to go to the danger zone. So what's going on with Top Gun?
There's so much going on, Paris. So you and I talked about Top Gun Maverick earlier. The fans are super excited. They saw the F/A-18. They can't wait to start flying. And as you know, it comes out later this year as free DLC alongside the movie. But as the movie is still under wraps, so are we, so I can still not tell you that much about it. But there's so much else going on, even before Maverick. So we are continuing.
Flight Simulator habe ich auf PC gesehen, war schon krass geil. Ja, da ist es wirklich ultra. Und dass sie es auf die Konsole gebracht haben, klar in einer etwas schwächeren Version, aber immer noch hübsch, ist schon
this world update, I mean,
nice.
At the beginning of the show, if you remember, there was a little red plane flying into Cologne. Well, we did that because World Update 6 updates that region, the region of Gamescom. So Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And what that means to us is we have new aerial and satellite images. We have a new elevation map that helps us with the mountains, so the Alps actually look awesome now. We have new 3D cities like Frankfurt and Wuppertal in Germany. We have Basel in Switzerland.
Wuppertal, warum Wuppertal? Gibt es irgendwas Besonderes?
And those cities look just amazing. They have like 7 centimeters resolution, and it's awesome.
Tschüss.
But we want to celebrate the entire region, so we picked 100 of the most scenic places,
Schloss
the most famous
Neuschwanstein?
landmarks, and we call those POIs, and we sort of spread them
safe,
throughout the simulation, and we also added airports. We did Lübeck and Stuttgart in Germany, and Klagenfurt in Austria, and St. Gallen in Switzerland, and what it ties it all together is missions. We're having new discovery flights, we have new landing challenges, and we have new sort of tours of the country. So they fly you around.
Klingt nach
all
deutschem
the
Akzent, der
awesome
Typ ja,
places
glaub
and
auch.
really celebrate the beauty of this region of Earth. And this is a celebration of DACH, of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I'm so happy to be able to announce the date here at Gamescom.
You know, that is really incredible, all the different regions and everything
Lübeck
that you
hype.
have in the game, and the way that you're going to be able to actually highlight those.
Yeah, I think it's
Schiff
really
besser.
cool, but you know, for us, it's actually not just the
Schwebebahn
region and the
gibt's in
visuals.
Wuppertal.
We talked a lot when you study aviation, when you love aviation like we do, you actually realize that a lot of regions of Earth have a very special relationship with flying, with aviation. Sometimes it's, you know, the first experiments with aircraft, or a famous pilot, or a feat of aviation, or like a local manufacturer. So we thought to ourselves, why do we not use these world updates to celebrate the planes? So we are announcing a new series. We call them Local Legends. And think about that as planes that are locally well known, like in that region, but outside in the world, not so much.
Yeah.
But why not use the world updates to highlight this, to bring these awesome machines to a worldwide audience? So for World Update 6, we picked a German plane from the 1930s. It's called Junkers U-52. In Germany, it's lovingly named Tante U, so Aunt U. And we think of us as sort of a digital preservation. So we really want to get these planes to an extreme level of detail. We're going out of our way to really go deep. So we're doing a full scan. We take full scans of the outside and the inside, as detailed as 1 millimeter, which is as good as you can really do this. And then we're working for the Junkers. We work with Bernd Junkers, who is the grandson of the original creator of the plane, Hugo Junkers, and he's helping us. He had a ton of insight and materials. Then we work with an organization that is preserving one of the last surviving examples of the Junkers. So they let us scan and take photographs. And then we were lucky that to find a pilot that actually flew
Steuerung
one
auf
of those
PC ist sehr
planes while he was
schwer.
still flying in the real world. And he lets us
Und ich habe
know,
schon an der
like, is the
Konsole
carpet right?
Probleme.
Does it sound right? Does it feel right in the air? So we're having a blast working with these
Ja, aber sie
experts
wollten es
to
halt
really bring
relativ
these
realistisch
celebrated
umsetzen,
planes
ne?
and
Das ist
bring
ja
them
eigentlich
back
auch
to
was
life.
Schönes.
So this is almost like you're creating
Crash
like
4
a digital
DLC wäre
museum for
super. Wann
aviation
folgt die Trilogie bei dir? Bleib
Microsoft Flight
gesund.
Simulator.
Yeah,
Wahrscheinlich Anfang nächsten Jahres, muss man mal schauen.
Planes. So we're working with 40 museums around the world, and it's honestly one of the funnest parts of the job. You end up working with these curators of planes. These are their babies, and they sort of see the tooth of time in the real world sort of nagging on their remaining planes, and they're so happy when we come in with our scanning equipment, and we're basically capturing their planes, and they know that we can digitally preserve them in perpetuity. And we're actually giving those scans back to the museum so they can do something with it. And it's a great collaboration. And we're actually not just looking back in the history of aviation, we're also looking towards the future. So I have another announcement. We are working with
Lade ich mal gerne zu einer Fahrt ein, wundernde Nähe. Das ist ja lieb, aber ich muss erst mal gucken, was eine Schwebebahn ist. Das sagt mir gar nichts.
air taxi for urban travel.
Aber es klang sehr interessant.
They have a vision of the future, how these drone-type machines basically connect people in large cities. We're working directly with the engineering team to make sure that we are capturing their plane and their aircraft perfectly in the flight simulator. And that's coming out in
Deutschland?
I mean, you weren't kidding when you're saying that there's a lot going on inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's one more thing. Yeah. I'm so happy to announce that we've partnered with RARA. That's the Reno Air Racing Association. And every year they put on something called the Steel National Championship Air Race. And we're bringing this to Flight Simulator. So this is the fastest motorsport. This is right down your alley. It's the fastest motorsport on Earth. And I actually brought you a little trailer to look at.
Ist Nintendo auf Gamescom? Nö.
Speed.
Haben wir immer nichts zu
We
zeigen.
Go to the danger zone, baby. Let's go ahead and show that.
In Echtzeit 4K. Okay.
You know I like going fast, and you know I love being in the danger zone. When is this coming out?
Man, these planes, they fly 500 miles, faster than 500 miles an hour, 50 to 250 feet above the ground. So you are definitely going to be in the danger zone. I mean, without going into too much detail, this Reno Air Race is actually the largest expansion we have since we launched on Flight Simulator. It's not just because
der Untertitel hat es gerade überblendet, aber da stand Release Herbst 2021.
This is also the first time when you can basically race against your friends and pilots across the planet. And so a competitive multiplayer is coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that will definitely test your pilot skills. And you ask, when is it coming out? This is coming out this fall, so it's right around the corner.
Oh, that is fantastic. And you know I have the need for speed, so I can't wait to get my hands on this and participate in some of these air races.
Awesome, man. We got you covered.
Yeah, all right, thank you. If going fast on the ground is more your speed, keep an eye out for an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 later on in the stream. We'll also talk with Wasteland 3's game director about the game's next big DLC. But first, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, we have some great news for you.
Okay, mal gucken. Schwebebahn ist das sicherste Verkehrsmittel auf der Welt. Gab es ja nur einen Unfall. Okay. Das sind halt so Indie-Games, die ich gerne auf der Switch sehen würde. Teilweise zumindest. Zu den anderen Publishern wird es sehr wahrscheinlich morgen was geben. Bei der Opening Night. Andere Präsentationen sind mir auch nicht bekannt. Also ich glaube, es gibt nur diese zwei.
Yep, somehow they did it. They they added even more games to Game Pass. But let's talk about what's coming up. We're talking Age of Empires 4, the game's creative director, and we're going to see what's next for Sea of Thieves. But now, we've got a new roguelike retro shooter that, in grand retro fashion, sends you plundering through shifting dungeons to defeat a mysterious eldritch terror. Let's dive into the pit.
Sea of Thieves hatte übrigens mit dem Fluch der Karibik Update sau viele Online-Spieler. Also einen neuen Rekord, mehr als zu Release und jemals. Shadow, danke dir für die Ehrenmitgliedschaft. Ich weiß nicht, das ist mir, glaube ich, ein bisschen zu bunt und zu viele Partikeleffekte, die mir da in die Fresse donnern.
Well, I am here with creative director of World's Edge, Adam Eisgreen. And Adam, I'm so excited to talk Age 4, of course, because you've brought something a little different and very special today.
Yeah, I have. So, you know,
Was, es gibt einen Schwebebahnsimulator von 2013?
From in the game, you know, when you're playing it. You've gotten to see a lot of footage of that, and we've also shown a little bit of our campaigns, right, through when we unveiled the 100 Years' War and showed Joan of Arc. But we have yet another way in Age of Empires 4 that we're kind of bringing history
Sea
alive.
of Thieves Update war auch krass. Ja, glaube ich dir.
You put me in suspense. I want to know more, so let's go with it. Let's hear more.
Okay, wait, you get one moment of suspense. Okay, that's enough. So what we brought today is we have these wonderful little videos that we've created that are interspersed amongst the campaign, and they're about 3 to 5 minutes each. And we have over an hour of them total, and they're called Hands-on Histories. And what they are is a great way to like deep dive on certain fun subjects from the cultures we're representing and just from medieval history.
Excellent. Well, I hear you've actually brought one of those segments that you're going to share here for the very first time.
Yes, I have. We are going to show you the segment on one of the most popular units from Age of Empires franchise and a fan favorite, the Trebuchet.
Excellent. Well, this I got to see. Let's take a look.
A counterweight trebuchet was the king of all siege engines. A catapult capable of smashing down castle walls from great distances.
Geil.
At Warwick Castle in England, they've built a replica, one of the largest in the world. Originating in 7th century China, by the 13th century, trebuchets had evolved into devastatingly powerful weapons.
Gibt's bei Microsoft überhaupt Games, die für dich top-notch sind und dich richtig ansprechen? Weniger als bei den anderen, ja. Das stimmt schon.
With a weight at one end and a sling to hold the projectile at the other. To prime, the 6-ton weight is raised using tread wheels.
Momentan nicht so viel.
So this is one of the wheels, one of two that's attached to an axle.
Aber für mich ist das auch eher eine Multiplattform-Konsole. Also wenn halt ein Spiel auf mehreren Konsolen rauskommt, dann ist es sehr oft auf der Series X halt einfach am stabilsten und am höchsten aufgelöst und dann zocke ich das halt darauf. Die Exklusivspiele nicht so ganz mein Fall.
And by launching the projectile from a sling. When released, the sling whips round.
Ey, aber das ist gerade super interessant mit dem Katapult. Auch voll krass, dass die Leute damals schon auf so eine Idee gekommen sind, ne? Um halt Burgen einzunehmen und so. Feierbar. Nur schade, dass die Menschen irgendwie, zumindest gefühlt, ihren Intellekt viel zu häufig und intensiv für Kriege genutzt haben.
This projectile into the sling. Oh, this one must weigh about 25 kilograms, but some projectiles can get up to 150 kilograms. That's the weight of 2 men.
Trebuchets were also used to throw burning tar.
War das gerade ein Front an das Gewicht von Männern? Was ist das für ein Bodyshaming? Hallo?
Anything to cause maximum distress to the enemy.
Hätte ein Mann gesagt, so und so viel Kilogramm ergeben 2 Frauen, dann würde Twitter brennen. Nur mal so am Rande.
It was the counterweight trebuchet's lethal combination of power and accuracy that made it the ultimate medieval siege weapon.
You know I'm going to say trebuchet. Don't care, because that is awesome and remarkably unique, something you don't see in games very often.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the things when we were looking at what we were going to do with Age of Empires 4, there's a phrase I'm really fond of, which is, history is only as interesting as the people who taught it to you. And
würde
you could say
gerne ein Game von Moon
right?
Studios sehen.
I think
Da
the great
schließe ich
thing
mich
is
an.
when you have someone that's so enthusiastic and passionate about history, it really comes across. And we wanted to be that kind of teacher for history. And there's a phrase called humanized history that I use to kind of describe what we tried to do, which is we tried to
NG Games, danke für eine Münze und die
You can
Mitgliedschaft.
see that kind of in our briefings as well, where
Und
we
auch
got,
Marcel
real
Thiessen,
stuff
danke
with,
dir.
CG kind of overlaid
Willkommen.
to show you the history. And so for these, we really wanted to do that same thing. So ourselves and Relic partnered with this amazing group in the UK called Lion TV, and they've done production on an amazing amount of shows and documentaries for the BBC and won every award you can imagine for media. And they travel to all of these locations in all these different countries to meet with these subject matter experts and get all of this great footage on how things really worked.
N24 endlich vorbei.
It's been
Hallo, das war super interessant. Dachte jetzt zwar, also ich weiß nicht, ob es so einen krassen Werbeeffekt für das Spiel hatte, aber ich fand's cool.
You mentioned of these hands-on history segments. Anything else that you can tell us fans about what we can expect, looking forward to? Any favorites you got coming up?
Oh, well, favorites. Oh, man. Well, I think my personal favorite is
Schaffen wir die 1000 Likes?
And I'm going to let your imagination go
700 sind's jetzt. Kuss.
and what we might talk about in that one.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about them is that they go all over the place. So, you know, we've got ones on warfare and castle building and like
Und
how
auch
they
Quiet
kept
Dommy, danke
flinging
dir für die
arrows from
Mitgliedschaft.
not going out when she shot them. And but we've also got all of these ones on, you know, like illuminated history and hawk falconing and, you know, like horse taming, armor creation.
Oh, cool.
And there's even one on Mongolian instrumentation.
Aber die müssen noch den Zeitlupenbonus nutzen, vom Pferd abspringen und dann erst
for the
schießen.
Mongols when you're playing as them in the campaign, in the game.
I mean, I just love the behemoth amount of
Interesse an Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Ich habe noch keinen einzigen Star Wars Film gesehen, außer 2 in meiner Kindheit und daher nein. Aber es sieht interessant aus, das Spiel. Nur wenn du thematisch damit nicht verbunden bist, macht es keinen Sinn, es sich anzuschauen eigentlich.
What was that approach like to sort of, you know, sell going forward, especially since it's such a unique in-game experience?
Well, the cool thing was it was there from day one. It was one of the things I was really wanted to do, is try to tell these stories in a different way. But I'll tell you, like, full disclosure, it's been insanely nerve-wracking.
Ich glaube, das wird morgen
We're trying
gezeigt.
something completely different that no one's ever done before in a game, right? We're history, but we're a game, but we're teaching you things, but you're having fun. And finding that middle ground has been really challenging. And, you know, every time we've tried to we've shown the campaigns or we've shown these hands-on histories, I've been like, oh God, it's gonna work? Like, people gonna like this? And the great thing is so far, everyone that's really experienced the entire thing put together have just been like, wow, this is great. And it's so different and kind of cool and refreshing. So, so far so
Lego
good,
Star Wars
right?
hat mega viele Insider. Ja, same. Safe. Und deswegen hat es keinen Sinn, wenn ich davon keinen Plan
I love that you
habe.
mentioned Journey, because we are coming towards the end of this development journey for Age 4. Talk to me about where people can find and learn more about Age of Empires 4. I know they're all chomping at the bit.
Oh, well, you know, October 28th, we are launching the game. You can go to ageofempires.com to learn more about the title. And if you're really, really excited, right now, you can go onto the Microsoft Store or Steam, pre-order the game right now. And of course, we will be there day one, Xbox Game Pass for PC as well. So anyone that's on that can just grab the game and start playing.
Awesome.
Das ist das, was ich meinte.
Yes, I believe
Das gezeigt
you
war
are
zwar
part
cool,
of
aber
the
sie haben jetzt nicht wirklich Werbung für das
so
Spiel gemacht. Und er sagt
GAMESCOM
ernsthaft, hey, wenn ihr euch dafür interessiert, geht auf die Website oder bestellt es
11
direkt vor.
Pacific time.
Warum jetzt nicht die Zeit nutzen, um...
related in there, so if you're a fan, you probably should tune in.
Oh, a bit of a tease from Mr. Ice Green.
Maybe.
And
Komisches
I like it
Marketing.
very much. Adam, thank you so much for joining us here.
Always a pleasure, Kate.
Always a pleasure. Age of Empires 4 looks fantastic, so I cannot wait. October 28th, neither should you. Now, we have tons coming up here today, including a new update for State of Decay 2 and an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 with our friends at Playground Games. But now,
Darauf habe ich
catch
Bock.
up with Paris, who's gone from flying the skies in
Forza
Microsoft
Horizon
Flight Sim
5.
to a different kind of cloud.
That's right, Kate. Xbox Cloud Gaming is already available on Windows PCs, mobile phones, and tablets. And now, it's coming to Xbox consoles. The future with cloud gaming sounds bright. No waiting to install, no running out of hard drive space, no waiting to patch, and no buying a new console just to play with your friends. See how the vision of cloud gaming will bring people together without barriers.
So when I think about cloud and when I think about gaming, those two things together to me really show you the future where you can pick up something and you could play it anywhere and you could do it quickly.
Ja, hat Vor- und Nachteile.
Cloud gaming is
Aber
phenomenal.
oha,
That's
als
pretty great.
Teil
I mean,
von Game
that's pretty
Pass.
awesome.
This actually looks so good.
Games are large and you want to keep the ones that you know you love on your home
Bruder, was
drive.
ist denn
Xbox
eigentlich
Cloud
nicht im
Gaming
Game
is
Pass?
about
Jetzt mal so
being able to
gefragt.
discover the new ones right away. It's super exciting that for our Game Pass Ultimate members, they will get to experience Xbox Cloud Gaming on whatever console they have.
Cloud gaming is really about looking at how people play differently. I know me in particular, sometimes I just have 20 minutes.
It should be as easy as finding the game that you look for on your console and just jumping right in.
We're targeting 1080p at 60 frames per second.
What's crazy about this is like the latency. This is the kind of stuff you need with cloud gaming.
Oh, 60 frames? That's actually very smooth.
The process
Ja, also 60
itself to get
FPS
into
sollte es
cloud
auf jeden
gaming
Fall
feels like
haben.
You're playing on console, right? You go, you find the game you want, you press play.
It's so easy nowadays. You can pick up any device and pretty much play any Xbox game on Game Pass.
If my friends have titles that I don't have yet, I can just wait for them to send me an invite. It makes content just so much more accessible.
Das ist ein heftiges
I really love the
Pro-Argument.
flexibility. It's awesome.
Everything that Xbox is doing right now is just getting rid of the limits of having to be on a specific platform or a specific console.
PS Plus
on
ist
PC,
nicht drin.
Mobile, and now on Gen 8.
Yeah, Gen 8 consoles can play Gen 9 content.
Ja.
Isn't that so cool?
With cloud gaming, we
Und
have
Mario und
the
Zelda
ability,
glaube ich
because
auch
we are
nicht, ne?
connecting to consoles that are in our data centers to allow the Gen 8 customers, the
Aber
Xbox One
sonst alles.
customers, to play games that their hardware wouldn't have been able to play without it.
There's so much opportunity when it comes to thinking about how we can make content more readily available and let people play where they want to. Sign me up. I'm ready for cloud gaming right now. Let's do it. When's the release date? When does it release?
Morgen. Nee. Weihnachten. Ja, gut. Passende Zeit dafür.
August 9th saw the release of the free optimized update for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on the Xbox Series S and X. With beautiful and rich visuals, thanks to the addition of ray tracing and improved materials alongside performance
Series S
updates,
lohnt sich somit.
This is the perfect opportunity to
Kann
relive
man machen,
Senua's
ja.
journey or experience it for the first time. And if you haven't played this, do yourself a favor,
Das stimmt.
grab a pair of headphones and immerse yourself into this world.
Agreed. Speaking of unique experiences on Game Pass, the Xbox Plays team will be taking a look at some ID at Xbox titles over the next few days, including 12 Minutes and The Big Con.
They're also talking with developers from Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Forza Horizon 5, and Destiny 2. So join the live Q&A to get your burning questions answered. You can catch all of those streams on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Speaking of Forza Horizon 5, don't forget our friends at Playground Games will give us an extended look at their monument to motoring in Mexico later on.
That includes never-before-seen areas of the game map, plus cars that have never been in the Forza franchise before. I've loved everything I've seen of Forza Horizon 5 so far, and I can't wait. Now, Kate, there's more games to check out, right?
Well, right you are, Paris. Let's talk Wasteland 3. Their newest DLC introduces us to a new cult. The Cult of the Holy Detonation.
The Holy Detonation is life.
Tufan, danke für eine Münze und Rotowin für die Mitgliedschaft. Herzlich willkommen.
Changed. Devolved into the mutations you see before you.
Morgen Opening Night, ja.
Righteous path. The Holy Detonation's life-giving glow should be shared with everyone. May the light of the Holy Detonation purify you. Join us, Rangers.
Okay. Wie sie das jedes Mal einblenden, ne?
With new patches, bug fixes, and added features, like a fine wine, Wasteland 3 just gets better with age to really savor the game's bouquet. We're talking with InXile game director David Rogers. David, thank you.
Oh, jetzt müssen wir aber nicht über jedes Spiel 10 Minuten reden,
so in the
oder?
trailer, we saw that the DLC is coming out on October 5th, but we know, InXile Wasteland 3, you guys have been working on this for a very long time. So can you kind of talk about that journey?
Yeah, our dev team has been working non-stop full tilt, trying to make Wasteland 3 the best version of itself it could be. Over the past year since it's released, we've added features, we've balanced, we've listened
Denkst
to
du,
the
Nintendo wird
community,
noch was
fixed bugs,
announcen? Nö.
added stability, and I really think that the version that we have now is the absolute best version of the
Man sollte
game.
nichts von
And if you've
Nintendo
never played it
erwarten
before,
morgen.
now's an
Ja.
awesome time to jump in.
Well, congratulations on everything that you've been doing with Wasteland 3. Now, this DLC is called The Cult of the Holy Detonation. Now, talk about that a little bit. Tell me what's going to go into this DLC. What should we be excited about?
Right. So you've heard of Cheyenne Mountain, right?
Yes.
For those who haven't, Cheyenne Mountain is this top secret military complex buried
Die
deep in
90
the heart of
Minuten
Cheyenne
müssen ja
Mountain in the
gefüllt
middle of
werden.
Colorado. It's designed
Das ist leider bei den
to outlast a
Xbox-Präsentationen
nuclear winter.
häufig
And so
so.
when you hit level 16, an old friend calls you and says, "Hey, I need your help securing this secret military base and all the secrets within." And as soon as you get there, you find two warring cults battling over supremacy, trying to take control of the Holy Detonation, which is this pre-war science experiment that they worship as a god.
Yeah.
And, these cultists are insane, they're mutated, they've gone totally mad, and all they want to do is share the holy radiation with you and your entire
Ist natürlich geil, wenn
Ranger
man
team. How generous.
alles fühlt.
That sounds a lot cooler than some of the cults I may have joined in the past.
Aber ich finde es auch besser, wie es die anderen machen.
This is typical Wasteland fashion. We're really going to be able to get in there and mix it up, right?
Right. So you and your Ranger team insert yourself right smack dab in the middle of their holy war, which, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
And this is a Wasteland game, so you decide everything. Choice and consequence is our bread and butter. And so you decide who lives, who dies, who gets screwed over, who takes charge. You're deciding the fate of the cults, the Holy Detonation, Cheyenne Mountain, and ultimately all of Colorado. This is really your game to craft and mold.
That's awesome. So the last expansion was the Battle of Steeltown, right? Yeah. You had giant robots and things like that. So, what are you going to do to actually top something like that from the last expansion?
Right. So we wanted returning players to find something that they could never find in another version or in previous versions of Wasteland 3. And so we built this as a Wasteland-style dungeon crawl. And in there you find this awesome mix of mystery, exploration. You're meeting these crazy cultists who have been locked in this pre-war time capsule, and some of the raddest boss battles we have ever been able to build in a Wasteland game.
That's awesome. I want to get back to the crazy cultists, but talk to me about these big boss battles. I want to hear more about that.
Right. So we took the best parts of Wasteland combat and we breathed new life into it with objective-based
Wieso kommt nichts von
combat, which
Nintendo?
are basically super rad boss battles.
Ja, weil bei denen auch so
It's
läuft.
no longer you're huddling in a corner, throwing down turrets,
Sie müssen
just
nicht
going
springen.
on murderous rampages. It's not about killing, it's about getting the job done. And so now combat doesn't end until the mission is over. We send you on proper combat missions. You're in there breaking into prisons, rescuing killing POWs.
Sie wissen, dass alle auf Forza warten, deswegen kommt alles andere davor. Ja, das kann ich ja noch verstehen. Also das mache ich ja auch nicht anders. Wenn ich weiß, was in einem Part vorkommt, dann packe ich das Highlight natürlich auch eher ins letzte Drittel. Das ist halt so, ne? Alles andere ist dumm.
Now, Wasteland has a reputation for getting a little silly.
Right.
What are some of the weird characters we can expect in some of the story encounters we'll see in the game?
Yeah, with Cult of the Holy Detonation, we really got to cut our devs loose and just let them be creative and fun and silly. Like Exile's modus operandi is if we're like brainstorming and something makes
Aber diese Präsentation ist immer noch geiler als die letzten ID@Xbox-Dinger, weil das war wirklich einfach nur Gelaber. Das ist so ein Discord-Chat einfach. Das fand ich absolut grausam. Dagegen ist das hier geil.
And tell stories and like maybe even join them. And so like for instance, one of the characters you meet, one of the first cultists you meet, is this slathering beast.
Können nicht einfach 3 Jahre vergehen, sodass das neue Uri announced wird? Uri ist abgeschlossen. Da soll nichts mehr kommen. Glaubst du, es kommt was zu Everwild? Nein, leider nicht. Rare hat das Projekt restarted.
He's what you get if you took like 20 cultists and you like
keine Ahnung, was da passiert ist, aber
kind of like I would do this with like a magnifying glass. I would like melt.
Sie haben es eingestampft und dann restartet.
And he's wet and sloppy and gross and he's hard to understand and he needs a translator supposedly. But he's like your #1 fan. And getting to build like this totally out there wild extreme character was a ton of fun to write for. It's a ton of fun to like explore.
Wie ein Discord-Chat. Ja, wirklich. Also
and he's an absolute blast. Hell, even some of the weapons.
Ich werde niemals einen ID@Xbox-Stream streamen. Niemals.
They're devolved cultists. Like there's one guy and he kind of devolved into this like vomiting bagpipe creature and he has this real like kill me vibe about him. But we get to play with these fun body horror themes that let us jackknife between sort of like dark and serious and like goofy and funny, which is a line that Wasteland really loves to ride. Like, you know, a lot of really important stuff is at stake, but, you know, the Wasteland's a pretty bizarre place.
Oh, I can imagine.
Viel geiler fände ich, wenn uns diese ganzen Publisher einfach so machen würden. Erstmal ein Trailer und Gameplay nach dem anderen. Und wer dann noch Bock hat auf diese Insights, kann ja dranbleiben. Ja, also Trailer und Insight einfach voneinander trennen.
Into it over the past year. And so you can get the whole thing with the Colorado collection. That's the base game plus Cult of the Holy Detonation and Battle of Steeltown, all for a discount. Or if you have Game Pass, you already have Wasteland 3. Just download it and play it. And then you can get both expansions with the expansion pass.
That is awesome. Now, to kind of recap this a little bit, we've talked about, you know, spewing pus bags and these weird characters and the cults and the boss battles and all these really cool things that are going to be in Wasteland 3. But please remind everyone before we get out of here, when can you pick up this DLC?
Right, this work of passion, it comes out on October 5th. We're really stoked.
That is awesome.
Dieses Meisterwerk.
Of the Holy Detonation.
Bro,
Detonation coming
calm
October
down.
5th. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks,
Leute, morgen erscheinen wieder 2 Meisterwerk-Videos von mir.
Since launch, Sea of Thieves has played host to some incredible crossovers, including unique ship sets inspired by games like Battletoads, State of Decay, Halo, and more. Today, we're excited to announce a brand new special event that will award players an all-new ship as a part of the latest wild crossover heading to Sea of Thieves. Better yet, this event begins tomorrow. So get ready to make some mayhem and let's get our first look at this very special ship.
Guten Tag, everyone. Really cool to be a part of this all-digital Gamescom event. And we were thinking, what's the best way to kind of celebrate Gamescom and to be a part of this as Sea of Thieves? And so we're really excited to reveal that we're bringing the Mayhem ship set that you've just seen, a really, really cool ship that's inspired by Borderlands, into Sea of Thieves, and we're giving all of our players a chance to earn it during kind of the Gamescom time period. So it's been really cool to work with the Borderlands team to bring this ship to life, and giving all of our players the chance to earn it as part of this live event that we've cunningly titled Mayhem. You might notice the link. So you can probably guess the kind of activities that are involved, but if you head to Larina at any of the outposts in the Sea of Thieves world, she'll be able to fill you in on the details of what you need to go do to earn the ship set. So we hope everybody gets a chance to take part in this awesome time-limited event. So it starts today, and it runs through to September the 7th. So that's the time period you've got to get your hands on the Mayhem ship set. And I think that's it from me. So, as always, I will see you on the seas.
Ach, Rare. Tut jedes Mal aufs Neue weh, ne? Bist du auf irgendwas gehypt? Ja, Forza.
Hope. It's always been a dangerous world in Trumbull Valley. But now, it's hope that brings us back.
Gibt's die Gamescom wirklich nur hier in Deutschland? Ja.
It reunites old friends.
Was
It builds new bonds. And in the face of a growing threat, hope is the greatest weapon we have.
Mhm. What the hell?
Welcome back to Trumbull Valley.
Bruder.
Well, just like zombies themselves, it seems everything old is new again in State of Decay 2. And we have a guest to walk us through this Undead update. Please join me in welcoming Undead Labs Director of Communications, Wonder Russell. Hello, Wonder, how are you?
Ja, okay, anscheinend sprechen sie über jedes Game 10 Minuten. Na dann. Gönnung aktiv.
You are indeed. So let's talk about the Homecoming update. Obviously, we are coming back to Trumbull Valley. We were there for Heartland.
Eine Zombie-Apokalypse nach der anderen.
Talk to me about the differences, and I'll sit right here and listen, because you're adorable.
So Heartland is the story mode within the game, but it's a very linear, narrative-driven experience. You know, players couldn't move their communities there. So that's all changed with the Trumbull Valley map. It is the 5th core open-world map. It's fully remastered, and it expands into 2 territories that were completely inaccessible in Heartland. So players can return to Trumbull Valley with their communities, start new communities there, and really start exploring everything
Vorgänger soll
that the new
sauschlecht
map
gewesen
has to
sein.
offer.
So then, would Homecoming be a sequel
Weiß ich
to
nicht.
Heartland?
Yeah, exactly right. So the events in Heartland kind of play out. You see what happens in Trumbull Valley. So we think of it as the 3rd part of our Trumbull saga that began with the original.
Hä, das 2 ist auch schon draußen? Weil ich wollte gerade nach Reviews schauen und...
What has happened since then and what storylines might be coming to a close.
Ach so, Homecoming,
so
sorry.
there is a lot for players to discover, a lot of environmental storytelling to find.
Ja, das 1er ist besser bewertet als das 2er.
So this isn't the Trumbull Valley that players might remember. So that's going to be exciting.
Interesting. Well, and anytime you expand something like Trumbull Valley, you just have to have a juggernaut of content, pun intended. Talk to me a
Kein
little
Wunder,
bit
wenn
about
sie nicht, wenn es eine Messe in Deutschland ist, dass sie nichts zeigen. Naja, es ist immer noch die größte Messe der Welt. Also die größte Gaming-Consumer-Messe der Welt. Und 4 Monate nach der E3. Das meiste zeigst du auf der E3 natürlich, ist klar.
And on top of that, we are adding the game's 12th bounty pack.
Geht dich nichts an, danke für die Mitgliedschaft.
From the bounty broker across all maps.
Aber das geht mich schon was an,
they
oder?
are some of the coolest weapons I have ever seen go into the game. I'm so excited for people to find them.
A juggernaut amount of content, and I don't care who sees that second ton of the day. That works out great. Well, let's talk about the State of Decay community, because it's absolutely an
Das
integral
Genre
part to
ist
this
so
entire
ausgelutscht.
franchise. And State of Decay being
Es scheint
on
ja immer noch
Xbox
zu
Game Pass,
funktionieren.
how has that impacted the community? How has that impacted the game? Talk to me about those. It's been fantastic, and you know, we have an amazing community. We love them so much. In fact, one of the reasons we're doing Trumbull Valley as a map is because it was one of the most requested features from the community, which also makes it very exciting for us to be able to say, we did it, you get it. And we have a major milestone that we're celebrating. State of Decay 2 has 10 million lifetime players.
10 million lifetime hang your hat on that. I absolutely love that. That is
Really grateful.
Incredible, amazing news. Congratulations to you and the entire team at
Thank
Undead
you.
Labs, man. Fantastic work. Well, speaking of Xbox Game Pass, let's give me the deets one more time when it comes to the update.
So the update
Weird flex.
releases September 1st. It's a free update for all State of
Die
Decay
E3 nicht
2
noch
owners,
größer?
and it's
Nein.
included with Xbox Game Pass. Happy
Schon alleine
homecoming.
deshalb nicht, weil dann nicht jeder rein kann.
Thank you, Wonder, very much.
My pleasure.
Now we move
Sondern
from
nur Leute, die auch
Trumbull Valley to the Lost Valley of
in der
Akria.
Branche
This
arbeiten.
mystical location trades zombies for ancient warrior clans, forgotten temples of long-dead god kings, and a healthy dose of hack and slash. All this awaits in Stray Blade.
Forza hat einen eigenen Stream? Hä, nö. Das wäre ja super weird. Das müsste noch kommen am
In
Ende.
Stray Blade, you discover the mystical lost valley of Akria, a world which ranges from overgrown temple ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. A game world that changes based on your victories and plenty of dudes to stab in blade-to-blade combat. If that weren't enough, you even get a fuzzy little pal to help you out. Between the epic fights and this small guy, there's clearly a lot going on here. So let's hear more from Point
Das
Blank Games
Interessante,
about Stray Blade.
Interessanteste bis jetzt war der
Hello
Indie-Abschnitt.
everybody. I'm Leonard Kausch, Game Director at Point Blank Games, and today I will show you
Ja.
Stray Blade. Stray Blade is an action RPG
Und Dying
where you
Light.
play a rogue adventurer
Also fand ich
who's
jetzt nicht schlecht.
exploring the ancient valley of Akria with his companion, a witty wolf named Boji. Unveil the history of the Forgotten Valley, muster the powers of the 3 Akrian metals to restore balance to this war-torn land.
That is the how, as well as the why.
Combat and exploration are the 2 key elements of our game. Let's dive into the combat first. Our combat system merges strategic anticipation of enemy attacks with split-second blade-to-blade reactions. It is the high noon of skill-based melee weapon combat. To achieve that, we put our hearts into creating fluid, well-readable animations and epic cinematic finishers. You can choose from
Beides.
multiple weapon
Ein eigener
categories
Stream und
that
hier
can be
geht's auch
combined
normal
to fit your
weiter.
playstyle. Now, let's take a look at the exploration. Akria's colorful world ranges from
Microsoft,
overgrown
was
city
macht
ruins
ihr?
to frozen caves and winding canyons. Together with your companion, explore the deepest corners of an ever-changing world bristling with adventure. Every discovery holds treasure. Find rare materials, recipes, weapons, lore pieces and beautiful places. Change is
Ist
part
das
of your
Spiel auch
journey,
von einem
but every
Deutschen?
victory impacts
Der hört
the
sich
world around you.
so deutsch
When
an.
you die, time keeps moving forward. Enemy skills stay dead. New foes invade camps that you weakened. And when Boji revives you, only one thing is certain. The change you brought shapes what now awaits you. And of course, get ready for epic boss fights.
Oh, aber auf ein Game,
We hope you enjoyed the first
was
look
auf
at Stray
Xbox
Blade, which will be
released
out next
wird,
year.
bin ich
And keep an eye on
tatsächlich
our
hyped,
social
fällt mir
media
gerade
channels for more
ein.
information.
Das ist dieser Zelda-Abklatsch. Ich habe gerade den Namen leider vergessen und auch die Demo nicht gespielt. Die war irgendwie nur 2 Wochen
Next
verfügbar oder
up,
so.
one of the most unique games finally comes to Xbox.
Mit dem Fuchs.
Yeah, unique. As in, my evil twin murdered 4 of my
Wie heißt
husbands
das
because
nochmal?
they secretly are in love with me. Unique.
In case
Das müsste
that
jetzt auch
didn't
bald
tip you
kommen.
off, we're talking about Crusader Kings 3, the medieval grand strategy and role-playing game that has you trying to defend your royal line from those that would conquer your kingdom, and evil twins apparently.
Yeah. It's coming to Xbox as an adaptation, not a direct port, meaning that the UI and controls have been refined to bring that grand strategy experience to a controller.
Not to mention bringing the grand strategy experience to my comfy living room couch.
We'll all be ruling from our throne room soon enough. Check out Crusader Kings 3, now coming to Xbox consoles.
Nein, nicht Kena. Nicht Kena. Das ist ein PlayStation-Game. Und PC. Aber ich glaube, auf Xbox kommt das nicht. Tunic, ja, genau, Tunic. Ich glaube, das wird geil, aber sau schwer.
He never understood that the greatest wars are won with weddings, not warriors. With daggers, not swords. Only the small-minded.
Erscheint auf Next-Gen-Konsolen, sieht aber nach PS3 aus.
The real game is played across generations.
Also es gibt für mich übrigens insgesamt noch viel zu wenige wahre Next-Gen-Titel. Und die Konsolen sind jetzt bald ein Jahr draußen.
Crusader Kings 3 is wild. You really haven't lived until you've made an 8-year-old the King of England.
Well, it's nice to have hobbies. We've all gotten into some weird stuff this past year.
Resident Evil 9 wird angeblich, Quatsch, nicht 9, 4 Remake wird angeblich morgen angekündigt.
Wonderland kind of weird?
Exactly that
Psychonauts haben wir vorhin gestreamt,
finally get a sequel. It has been so long.
There really is something special about
Special.
Psychonauts, isn't it?
There really is.
Ich würde es so bezeichnen.
2005, when Psychonauts originally
Guckt
came
euch
out,
den
was a
Stream
different
gerne
time
an.
for gaming. Most of the biggest games that year, we're talking Resident Evil 4, Battlefield 2, Call of Duty 2. They were great games, for sure.
Ja, Call of Duty 2 war nice. Das stimmt.
Meanwhile, Psychonauts had humor, whimsy, and surprisingly heartfelt moments. It was an oasis of color and humanity in an era when games were increasingly turning grimy, dark, and combative.
Not to mention having some deceptively deep character moments.
That's why the original is considered a cult classic.
It has been a long time coming, and it is finally here. Enjoy this long-awaited launch trailer for Psychonauts.
Well, this shouldn't take too long.
Wieso wird uns das nicht angezeigt? Was meinst du, der Stream? Ja, das kann sein, dass er nicht angezeigt wurde, weil es waren jetzt nicht so viele Leute dabei. Keine Ahnung, YouTube ist halt Schmutz. Aber wir haben die ersten 2 Stunden gestreamt.
My first day on the job.
Get ready, Rasputin.
Did you forget everything I taught you about levitation?
Ich werde sie vermissen.
I'm not supposed to check out equipment to interns.
You did what?
Sie nicht.
Can't we just... No.
Quit picking on the new kid. We were all new once, in case you forgot.
I've got eyes on the target. And I've got eyes on me.
All I see is another unruly peasant.
Oh boy.
When men do misfires, turns our world on its side. Only one man can save us.
So cool habe ich den aber nicht besiegt.
It wouldn't be the first time the Psychonauts underestimated Maligula's power.
Fire! Leave it to me.
Ist aber trotzdem die einzige VOD-Plattform, die was taugt. Ja. Und für Konsumenten ist es auch ein bisschen einfacher als für Content Creator mit dem System und Algorithmus und so klarzukommen. YouTube kann aber einen Konkurrenten vertragen. Oder besser, 5.
We got some beef that needs settling. If you know, you know. The meat circus level, it is infamous, it is brutal, it is difficult to say the least. It's the final level of the original game that came out, and I cannot believe I'm doing the math on this one. 16 years ago, Tim Schafer and Lizette T-Tree Montgomery. I am definitely dating myself, but you all welcome from Double Fine Productions. Thank you so much for being here. Tim, can you believe it has been 16 years? I almost said 19 years.
Yeah, it feels like only yesterday, but it kind of was for Raz, because the story picks up right where the first game left off. And even though it has been a lot of years, it's a game that matters a lot to us. We really love it here.
Musst du mal Baldo anschauen, ist an alte Zeldas angelehnt. Ich mach mal einen schnellen Check. Aber der Name sagt mir schon mal irgendwas.
We also have a lot of people on the team here that worked on the first game, as well as bringing on a bunch of new people like Lisette.
Thank you. It was really important for us to carry the legacy forward, especially the cool style of Wonk that is very prevalent in the first game.
Style of Wonk. Just put it on a shirt. I'm in there for it. Let's roll it back a bit. Of course, this can be
also ich klicke hier gerade ein Video durch. Sieht interessant aus. Ist es schon draußen?
Psychonauts, they still jump into people's minds. I'm assuming like the first game, right? So if a Psychonaut sort of dove into my brain, it would be like a lot of Ted Lasso quotes and French bulldog memes. Am I correct, Tim?
Yeah, that's what's fun about a
Hat auch einen geilen
Stil, finde ich. Just like every person is different, based on their personality. If you could jump into someone's mind, what would it look like in there? What would be the color of the sky, and like who would the monsters be? And in Psychonauts, you get to do that because Raz has the power of astral
27. August ist der Release.
He gets to fight those monsters and help people deal with their nightmares and wrestle with their inner demons. And so there's a ton of variety.
Wieso wird das nirgends beworben?
We can go to any location, we can have any art style, and coming up with new levels for the second game was really fun to do.
Well,
ja, das ist Belastung, weil
in
den aktuellen Uploadplan kann ich es nicht integrieren. Wenn dann nächste Woche.
I mean, Psychonauts 2 has got it all over the place, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really important for us to carry.
Oder? Ja, mal schauen, mal schauen.
And unique levels.
Aber dazu muss ich es noch mal genauer checken.
Style as well. So we're really focused on how we could bring forward that style in Wonk, and also bring in new levels and enemies.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be Psychonauts without new mental demons. And I'm sure it's happening in Psychonauts 2. What does this mean?
Nee, ich habe gesagt, ungefähr 15 Jahre ist der erste Teil her. War ja nicht schlecht geschätzt. Es sind 16.
Anxiety you face, but you definitely get the slaps and panic attacks, and COVID definitely caused a lot of those.
Okay, das ist schon mal nicht das Let's Show vom Sonntag. Ja, oder ich tausche die Let's Shows, das könnte ich auch machen, ja.
And in addition to that, we also have our doubts. And some
wäre eine Möglichkeit.
Also some regrets, some flying regrets. There are a ranged enemy, and they definitely are challenging. Our doubts are our slow, sticky melee enemy. You're also seeing our enabler here.
Gucken wir mal.
It energizes our whole combat troop. So we have a whole cast that you can battle and fight with.
Including the bad mood.
Including the bad mood.
Which is
it's an electric storm of feelings that you have to fight.
Now, for those who haven't played the original, available now on Xbox Game Pass, by the way, wink. Tim, why is Raz so good at rummaging through brains?
Raz is, he has some very special skills. He has two whole sets of skills, one being the acrobatic skills he learned growing up in the circus. He can balance on tightropes, jump on trampolines, swing on trapezes, and that helps him navigate and get around to all kinds of interesting places. But he also has this other side to his personality, which is that he's a powerful psychic. So he can levitate objects, he can use telekinesis and pyrokinesis. He has these powers which people
Kommt Baldo nur für die Switch?
As well as, 3 new
Kann ich mir fast nicht vorstellen. Aber wurde wohl auf einer Nintendo Direct 2019 vorgestellt.
He can connect two thoughts and actually
Kann mich gar nicht mehr dran erinnern.
To solve puzzles and to navigate in this game. He has the power of time bubble, which is just change and slow down how things are moving by changing people's perception of time. And he also has the power of projection, which allows him to pull an archetype, a personality, out of his unconscious mind and bring it into the world that he's in, like a companion in battle or in puzzle solving.
But let's talk about the story for a second, because as the original Psychonauts, we saw Raz training to be part of an organization. And now perhaps part of the whole
Xbox One,
at this point.
PC,
and are there
Switch.
other brain agents, other Psychonauts out there that maybe grew up in a completely different circus.
Yeah, we have a lot of new characters in this game.
We do. We have a lot of new characters in this game. As soon as Raz arrives on the headquarters, he immediately gets introduced to the interns. And the interns quickly tell him and show him how he fits into the organization.
The bottom.
They're right down at the bottom.
Yeah, so earn his way back to the top again. He's no longer the coolest kid in summer camp. And much to his chagrin, his entire family, his entire embarrassing circus clothes wearing family comes to visit him in front of all his new friends. And so
nochmal der Streamlink, oder warte, ich pin's einfach mal an im Chat.
Circus family. Each one of them has their own quirks and foibles, and some of them are even psychic. And so a lot of their story gets told in this game, including their backstory and how it relates to the foundation of the Psychonauts themselves.
Well, I like that. And of course, as you might know already, I'm sold. But you, of course, already knew that. When can myself and the rest of the world exact some beefy, meaty revenge?
So.
You can get back to the beef and play Psychonauts 2 on August 25th on Xbox Game Pass and PC.
There it is. Lizette, Tim from Double Fine, thank you so much. And you know what? Extend a huge congratulations to everyone at Double Fine on the launch of Psychonauts 2.
Thank you so much. We're very excited.
Thank you.
And you can catch more of Tim Schafer and ask him those burning questions about the newest game in the fan favorite franchise in our Xbox Play stream tomorrow. But first, we're going from cleaning out mental cobwebs to cleaning up alien planets in this supremely satisfying 4K 60 trailer for The Gunk.
Returnal of Wish? Ne, schauen wir mal. Wobei doch schon irgendwie, oder?
Pretty sure the ship's insurance won't cover alien storm damage. You have to be careful out there.
Ach, das ist das mit diesem Sauger. Okay.
This planet is literally a paradise when the gunk's
Ja,
gone.
ist schon interessant eigentlich. Also Graphics sind überzeugend. Klar, Framerate zackt noch hier und da, aber ist ja auch noch in Entwicklung.
Oh, please, Bex.
Bex? Brauchst Bex Eis oder Lemon? Hat das schon einen Release-Zeitraum? Nein. Schade, weil das finde ich wirklich interessant. Das versuche ich mir mal zu merken. Aber ist im Game Pass, das wissen wir schon mal. Alles klar.
So many incredible games today, and it's hard to pick a favorite. But let me just say, it is so cool that State of Decay 2 is expanding Trumbull Valley. Come on! And hey, you know what? Great job on that Flight Sim interview.
Oh, thank you. I mean, talking to Jorg is always a blast, and Flight Sim is such a special game to me because, I mean, it's literally letting me travel the world. But I was staring daggers of jealousy watching you talk.
Weiß man, ob irgendwann noch ein neues Banjo kommt oder haben die gesagt, es kommt keins mehr? Gesagt, dass keins kommt, haben sie nicht, nee. Aber offensichtlich haben sie da auch keinen Bock drauf. Verstehe ich ehrlich gesagt auch nicht. Gerade jetzt mit den ganzen wir beleben wieder alte Franchises-Trend.
Yes, don't forget. Xbox Plays will recap all the week's news throughout the week at twitch.tv/Xbox, so make sure to check that out. Before Kate and I let Playground Games take the wheel, let me just say that it has been our distinct pleasure to chat games and nerd out with everyone today.
Oh, it's hands down the best part of the job, for sure.
But we're far from done here.
Too true.
Bruder, wo ist jetzt Forza oder Halo?
Announced that Forza Horizon 5, the highly anticipated follow-up to 2018's breakout hit open-world driving game Forza Horizon 4, arrives on November 9th on Xbox consoles, Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud, and of course, Steam.
And if you're watching our Xbox YouTube channel, switch over to our Xbox Twitch channel to see all this new exclusive content.
And that is twitch.tv/Xbox for the full vroom vroom experience. And if you're already watching on Twitch or one of the Forza channels, stay right where you are.
Without further ado, let's dive in, starting with the new custom Forza Horizon 5 controller, which is available for pre-order today.
Forza kommt nur auf Twitch, habe ich das richtig verstanden?
By November 9th,
ach, halt's Maul, Alter.
of the game launches.
Dafür habe ich kein Layout. Ja, aber geiler Controller. Zwar auch halber Splatoon-Controller, aber hat was. Limited Edition, oha. Ich hoffe, sie gönnen mir. Nein, gibt's auch auf YouTube. Soll ich dann jetzt wechseln oder wie ist das, Digga? Ich check's nicht.
Hello, everybody.
Ach nee, Moment.
Hey everyone, hi Charlie.
Hey Charlie,
Hello.
how cool is this?
That is stunning. Look at that. Well, we obviously just saw a really cool video about it, and I'll be the first to say there is an amazing influence of Mexican car culture and music literally splayed right across the front, isn't that right?
Absolutely. It just feels like it's a part of the Horizon Festival, like it's just dropped out of the game into your lap.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
And there's so much we do want to show the fans, and it's been quite difficult to decide where to start. So can you maybe tell us a bit more about the game, Mike?
Sure, yeah. So Forza Horizon 5 is bringing the Horizon Festival's unique brand of fun and freedom to beautiful and vibrant Mexico. Players are going to set out across the largest, most diverse open world we've ever built in hundreds of the world's most beautiful and exciting cars.
Yeah, and people think that Mexico is just a desert or a beach, but there's so much more to it, isn't there?
That's right. Even though it does have pretty awesome beaches and a number of amazing deserts, it also has...
Weiß jemand, ob das jetzt schon auf den Forza-Channel läuft oder ob man hier noch warten soll?
Awesome, beautiful, historic cities, and even a towering snow-capped volcano, the highest point we've ever had in a Horizon game.
So you've talked about how Forza Horizon 5 showcases powerful, all-new graphical features, but what more can you tell us about that? So yeah, our Mexican HDR sky captures really illuminate the world to the point where you feel like you're really there. And thanks to the Xbox Series X and S, ray tracing is utilized in Forza Vista to really make our cars look more true to real life. You'll encounter the smallest of details as you travel throughout the world, all rendered in striking realism. Oh, that's such an exciting overview. I cannot wait. And next up is something we know that Forza Horizon fans have definitely been waiting for the most. Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to reveal the cover of Forza Horizon 5, featuring the incredible Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. Should we take a look?
Let's do it, yeah.
Das könnte sogar mal ein AMG sein, den ich fühle. Ja, ist nicht schlecht. Momentan das gleiche auf Twitch. Lel.
Now, those are two very different ways to explore Mexico. So what I want to know is why those two cars were chosen and what players can expect when they get behind the wheel.
Yeah, so those differences are exactly why we chose them. The Mercedes AMG 1 marks the first time a car features Formula One hybrid technology almost one-to-one from track to the street. And with the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, that's primed for rugged off-roading across Mexico's vast terrain.
And I'm certain people can't wait to see more of what these cars can do in the game, so I don't think we should keep them waiting any longer. Mike, can you tell us about what we're about to see next?
Yes, so in a few moments' time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza Horizon 5. But before that, we have 8 minutes of brand new gameplay where we're going to see both the Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. And in typical Horizon fashion, we are going to see active volcanoes, cars jumping out of cargo planes, and a race under beautiful Mexican skies all the way to the Horizon Festival. Should we check it out?
I think we should.
Das machen wir doch alle hin und wieder, ne? Man kennt's.
Here we take control of the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, atop of the towering, snow-capped Gran Caldera volcano.
See you on the other side.
Ja, sieht sehr geil aus. Ich weiß, beste Reaktion, aber ist halt einfach so. Und wie heftig es ist, hat man schon auf der E3 gesehen. Wow, wie weit man da auch gucken kann. Jetzt vergleicht mal das mit Pokémon Legends. Oh. Pokémon Legend Arceus wäre schon... Hier bei dem Felsen, der zweite da hinten, wäre schon alles einfach nur noch Brachland. Nur noch diese hellbraune Textur. Nichts. Kein Stein, keine Büsche. What the fuck? Wie viel Detail ist das eigentlich? Hä? Dude. Das muss doch irgendwie fake sein. Bin ich wieder online? Mein Stream ist gerade abgestürzt. Aber ich glaube, er läuft wieder. Sorry. Ich weiß nicht warum. Schmutz. Ich habe ein bisschen zurückgespult. Natürlich muss der Stream beim Besten abkacken. Man kennt's. Okay, wieder online. Ja, nice. Also ich weiß nicht genau, wann es passiert ist, deswegen habe ich jetzt eine Minute zurückgespult. Bullshit. Hat man gar nicht gemerkt. Doch. Muss man irgendwie gesehen haben. Es wurde extra eingeblendet, so per Pop-Up. OBS ist abgestürzt. Wir versuchen zurück zu verbinden. Egal, weiter geht's. Jetzt kommt der AMG. Wobei, also... Ein bisschen sieht er auch aus wie ein... McLaren? Aber egal, ist schon ganz nice. Was kostet der? Oh, das war ein Taycan, oder? Ich feiere es auch so sehr, dass sie Mexiko als Location genommen haben. Das ist so nice. Gibt richtig viel her. Ja, sogar so ein Sandsturm. Mit 145, obwohl du nix siehst. Im echten Leben lieber 20 fahren. Das war die Corvette. Okay. Lol. Anders lost. Oh, der Dschungel ist das Beste.
Next up is the Porsche 911 Desert Flyer, crashing through the dense jungle tree canopy. Flamingos!
Dschungel auf jeden Fall das Geilste. Kostet das auch 80 € wie Rift Apart? Ich weiß nicht, hat Microsoft auch die Preise erhöht? Aber es juckt doch eh keinen, es ist im Game Pass, lol. Grafik nahezu fotorealistisch, jo. Damit haben sie auch schon gescherzt. Ich hoffe, sie bauen noch mehr Tiere ein. Das belebt das Ganze halt nochmal um einiges, ne? Und jetzt Strand. So, jetzt kommt aber der AMG, oder? Bruder, die sahen sich aber wirklich fucking ähnlich, die beiden Wagen, oder? Jetzt musst schon zugeben.
And on the final leg, we have the stunning Mercedes AMG 1 at full speed across Mexico's sun-baked rocky coast.
Was zum Teufel? Was für eine Geschwindigkeit erreicht der bitte? Weil es sind ja Miles per Hour. WTF? Willst du mich verarschen? 210? Das sind doch... Wie viel km/h sind das? 370? Das ist der AMG. Ja! Die scheiß Wagen sahen sich so unglaublich ähnlich. Der ist aber nochmal einen Ticken geiler als die Corvette. Wie viel sind 210 mph? In km/h. ...337, sagt Google. Mal 1,6, genau. Dann müsste man auf die km/h kommen. Ich finde es gut, dass sie das Cover nicht so überladen haben. Okay. Kommt da jetzt noch mehr auf dem Forza-Channel oder war's das? Ich glaube, drüben labern sie auf jeden Fall. Wir können ja mal gucken. Hier.
Screen and landed in your lap. Loads of cool features as well. Loads of little like kind of hidden Easter eggs. Yeah, it's been great, right?
Yeah, it's been awesome, and I think integrating the stuff that we've seen in the initial drive with the powder explosions and the colors on the car, on the cargo plane and whatnot, and integrating that into the controller has been a lot of fun.
And for anyone else who maybe didn't pick up on camera, but the controller is also translucent as well, which I get really nerdy over translucent controllers. So I just want, in case anyone missed that detail, it is. And there is an additional detail as well, because it also comes with some exclusive cards.
Wo ist Halo? Ja, gute Frage.
Yeah, so while we're on the translucency, it has a Forza logo.
Freust du dich auf Wuppertal? Wenn ich mal in der Nähe bin,
That, so thank you.
There you go.
Check ich das mal aus.
Roll the VT on the video. Yeah, so those people who purchase the controller will also get some exclusive DLC. Part of that is the Forza Edition Ford Coupe, which is
Aber ist halt schon sehr
car
weit weg von mir aus.
A real eye-catcher, just like the controller. You can see the paint job on there as well. It's inspired by the controller, so it will match. You can match out the game and in the game.
Love it.
As we see here as well. Because it's got that exposed engine, it really takes advantage of all the ray trace reflections that we've got going on here.
Nein, nicht schon wieder. Wobei, nö, bin online, hä? Was ist denn da los? WTF? Bei mir läuft alles.
As well, because it also comes with some exclusive.
Oder ist deren Stream jetzt abgekackt?
It might be up for pre-order now on the Microsoft Store. Yeah, if not now,
Okay.
then very, very soon. And other retailers shortly after that. But I think if you want one now, then jump over to the Microsoft Store.
Perfect. Right. Well, while you go do that, let's talk a little bit more about the initial Drive gameplay, which we just saw, and is, for context, the very first gameplay players will see when they experience Forza Horizon 5. So what was that like? I imagine it's a huge deal finally showing people that part of the game.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a part of the game that we probably spend the most time working on, those initial kind of opening 10 minutes or so. It really, we want to make a statement. And
Forza ist ein Let's Show Stream, ja.
What Forza Horizon 5 is, what it's going to offer, what great things you're going to experience over the rest of the game, but condensed down into in that instance, an 8-minute run. So you see loads of the world, you see different cars, different driving experiences. It just gives you that real like buffet of flavors that the game will offer later on.
Yes.
Smorgasbord, yes.
Yeah, it was really a challenge to try to show as much as we wanted to show without showing everything and fitting in within.
Wuppertal weit weg? Ja, wenn du in Bayern wohnst, schon.
I love it. So we're actually going to take a quick look back at the highlights of that gameplay in case you missed it. So let's take it away.
Kann es nicht erwarten, meine Wagen in die Lava zu versenken. Die sind sich so ähnlich, also... Das ist fast derselbe Wagen. Naja. Mit dem neuen 11er durch den Dschungel. Ja gut. Nochmal derselbe Trailer in kurz, ja. Dann werden sie wahrscheinlich drüber talken. Und natürlich die Lava bewerten, ja, richtig. Ey, aber wirklich, auf die Lava-Textur bin ich mal mega gespannt. Das kann doch nur eine 100 von 10 werden, oder? Kann die Ladezeiten auf Xbox One S nicht erwarten. Ja. Wird wild.
Oh no.
So these are the 3 cars you can choose from at the start of the game. First up is the Chevrolet C8 Corvette. The car looks absolutely stunning. The insane grip that it manages to hold means it is like a really great car to start the game in. It allows you to go super, super fast, but it basically never breaks traction. Next up we have the Ford Bronco, one of our cover cars. Basically the hottest SUV of the year. And then a car that I would say needs no introduction, but we gave it a pretty cool introduction 2 weeks ago on the previous Let's Go stream. But yes, it is the 2020 Toyota Supra GR. One interesting point about the car select in this game. In previous Horizons, we had a similar layout of cars at the start of the game, but you can only pick one. It was a bit like choosing your starter Pokemon. This time, whichever one you pick, actually all three get added to your garage.
Wie das Starter-Pokémon? Na gut.
That is only a decision that you have to live with the consequences of for as long as you want to stay in that car, as the other ones will be in your garage and go jump into them whenever you like.
Wonderful. So we are going with the Bronco first. And here we go. Letting it all soak in. This is so exciting. What a huge moment this is when you
Ich glaube, ich hätte den Supra genommen. Und dann später auf den AMG gewechselt. Oder auf den Porsche.
Oh, absolutely.
It still feels like it's a decision of consequence, isn't it? And you're going with the default. You didn't force us all to sit here watching him select his name. I guess we should intro Andy.
Yeah, so for anyone wondering, you will hear an additional voice on stream today, and that is the wonderful Andy, who is going to be playing, or actually doing the gameplay today. But we decided we didn't want him on camera, so he's just sat off to the side. He looks excellent. If anyone's
you may get a sneak peek of him at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, baby steps.
Yeah,
work my way up to being on camera.
You'll be on the sofa next time, we promise. Okay, so we've picked the car, we picked the license plate. We're going to our first showcase event. What is this going to be? Talk us through what we're about to drive up to.
Yeah, so we've taken part in the initial drive. We've just seen 4 separate cars drop out of the back of a cargo plane, and we thought, well, what next? Let's go race against that cargo plane. And so this is a showcase.
Diese Grafik in Pokémon vielleicht 2100.
And we're also hearing some characters talking during this
Ich würde sogar fast sagen 2150. Vorher bekommen wir das nicht.
The voice you can hear right now is Scott Tyler.
Wobei Real Talk, ich glaube, bis dahin macht Nintendo keine Videospiele mehr, sondern nur noch Merchandise, Parks, Filme und also Blödsinn.
He's also the hype man at the festival. And in this instance, if I wasn't talking over it, you'd have heard him saying that he's just been pulled off mic. He's been dragged out of the booth for a reason that might become obvious in just a few minutes' time. We're also in Mullahay now as well.
Oh, stimmt, ich hoffe, morgen erfährt man endlich mal mehr zu den Resident Evil 8 DLCs. Das würde sich aber nicht so ganz mit den Gerüchten um 4 Remake vertragen. Aber andererseits kannst du auch beides announcen.
There's something so exhilarating about the showcases. I cannot wait.
Mal schauen.
What's it like actually making a showcase, especially following the ones, for me, the ones that resonate with me the most is Forza Horizon 4. So how does that compare to making 5? I imagine there's an element of one-upping yourself, right?
Yeah, that's
how do we do 4 again, but bigger and better?
I mean, that exact sentiment applies to almost the entire game, and it is absolutely a challenge. And some people have said that we need to stop treating that as a strategy, because we will reach a point where we won't be able to one-up ourselves. But right now, we feel like that is future Playground Games' problem, and not one that we need to worry about, because I think this probably is one of our most spectacular showcases we've put together so far. Andy actually designed this, so Andy, our resident driver, who you may hear the voice of very soon, was actually the level designer who put this showcase together. So if anybody can drive it in a perfect fashion, it will be him.
That's added some pressure.
No pressure. Yeah, thanks.
It's also a new car, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah. This is Ken Block's V2 Escort Cosworth. It's an amazing car built with sort of modern rally specs in mind, with all the aerodynamics and insane grip that those cars have these days. And of course, an amazing livery.
Amazing livery, which says Forza Horizon on it as well, which is lovely. Yeah, it's not. Is it like 300 horsepower?
Yeah, I think it's 370 horsepower.
Okay, 370. So not crazy powerful, but super lightweight, and can really move. Because it's light as well, the brakes are awesome. So even in some of the tricky driving maneuvers you'll have to pull in a minute, it is possible to slow down really fast.
Yeah, and Ken Block's Gymkhana videos are a massive inspiration for me as well.
Oh wow! What, for the showcase event?
Yeah, it was something that I considered when I was sort of making it. If
Ali, danke dir.
Horizon was to make one of the Gymkhana videos, you know, what would we do? So that's the sort of the lens that I looked at. The event.
Right.
plane becomes bikes.
Okay, jetzt macht das Flugzeug ernst.
Perfect timing, right into Guanajuato, which is our main city in the game.
There's those good brakes.
And just like we've shown in you know previous footage, Guanajuato is like super beautiful city with
Ich hoffe, die Anwohner sind gut versichert.
roads and an underground tunnel network. There's actually a mural right there by Spake, one of the mural artists, our Mexican mural artists. And yeah, I just love the color and the architecture, the Baroque and neoclassical architecture in here. There you get a shot of the Guanajuato Basilica.
370 ist nicht viel, meiner hat 120. Worum geht's? PS oder was?
Storm has it in Hoover. Look at the colors as well. I will never forget you said this to me on stream previously.
Kommt immer drauf an, was das für ein Wagen ist. Also 370 wären jetzt zum Beispiel für den AMG eher wenig.
I like that they all taking their own little off routes as well. They're just sort of like coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's the thing about these showcase opponents. They will do anything to win. Always up to tricks, aren't they, Andy?
Mein erster Wagen hatte 90 PS.
Always got to keep the player second guessing what's coming next.
Oh, absolutely.
We're right up in the northern tip of the map at the moment.
Grafik zu wild. Auch das mit der Sonne und die Schattierungen, die Spiegelungen.
What happened there?
So that bike knew he was beaten.
Woran arbeiten die jetzt eigentlich noch? Das sieht schon so heftig polished aus. Das kann... Digga, das kann sofort released werden, ey.
Oh, very good.
He probably had us beat if he was willing to faceplant into the road there.
Ich glaube, es dauert auch gar nicht mehr so lange, oder?
You have to make a choice at that point, don't you? Whether you want to win or whether you want to survive the race. Oh, that was incredible. Can you give us any more hints? Obviously, the showcases are so amazing. Can you give us any hints of maybe other showcases that we've got coming up? Or, I don't know, what you're happy to say?
Well, I don't want to spoil it. We've still got so much more to talk about. We do have 4 showcases in the game. One that I am particularly excited about is the train showcase. We've had a train showcase in every Horizon game, but I think this time it really is the best train showcase we have ever done, and I'm really excited to show it off, but that is for another day.
I'm looking forward to that. So what are we going to look at next? I think we're going to start talking about some of the cars, and we're starting with one in particular, and that is the Bronco.
Yeah, we can look at the Bronco. Yeah. So we drove the Bronco to the showcase. We are still in the Bronco now. If the guys want to pick the feed back up. So we're still playing through the start of the game, and Haley, one of our characters, has called us up and asked us to head back to the festival. And obviously, as you can see, we are still in the Bronco. Perfect car for chilling out on a nice leisurely drive like this one, but also a perfect car for heading
Ja,
across.
klar. An sich ist es gut, dass sie noch Zeit haben für Bugfixes. Das stimmt schon.
Or heading towards a dust storm. That is also a totally valid option.
And send.
Is that engulfed the festival? Is those the hot air balloons you can see just in front of
Yes, good
Das Spiel tut der Grafikkartennotlagen nicht gut. Warum? Ist doch ein Xbox-Game.
Oftentimes you can't see the festival because it might be quite low lying.
Also, ja gut, theoretisch kannst du dir dafür jetzt auch eine neue Krake holen und die PC-Version spielen, aber macht das jemand... Das ist ja die Konsolenversion, ne? Und die sieht ja auch schon insane aus.
About to get lost in that dust storm, aren't we?
You bought a ticket for the day and you see that in the distance.
Oh, got some car Andy's getting a perk.
Every car has its own set, offering unique bonuses. Skill points.
And there's a very intimidating dust storm looming in the background.
Yeah.
But that is our first view of the Horizon Festival. I think that's the first time we've shown it.
Care to take a look? My friend Carmen.
So what's Haley talking us through here then? We've just revealed something on the map.
Yes, so still at the start of the game. We've completed that showcase event, we've headed back to the festival, and now Haley is giving us the option of taking part in one of these 2 Horizon stories.
Okay.
So the one at the bottom there with
Mein
the
Auto fährt 500 km/h, ja,
ja. Where we'll team up with Alejandra,
Und
who's
ich
one
kann
of our
fliegen.
characters, to help her search for a lost abandoned car, which is the Beetle. The Mexican name for the Beetle is the Vocho. The camera icon is a story called El Camino, in which we will team up with a Mexican photographer called Carmen, and we'll head out, in this instance, into the storm, so into that dust storm that we could just see, and take some awesome photos inside the dust storm.
Amazing.
Both of those, though, are for another day, I think.
Oh, I see. We're not even going to do one of those. All right, then.
Another time, another time.
So what is it we're going to jump into now, then?
I think we're going to dip away.
I'm going to dip the feed. Andy's going to do a quick car swap, and then we will take a better look at
Danke dir für die lieben Worte, Diogo, und Glückwunsch zur Freundin.
So, yes, alongside the Bronco, it is our other cover car, and frankly, just one of the coolest, most hottest cars in the world right now.
Absolutely.
Meine CPU wird safe überhitzen. Damit kenne ich mich auch aus, ja. Wobei mein aktueller zumindest nicht mehr, aber der davor schon übelst.
Yeah,
it looks incredible, doesn't it? Like
the shape of it is stunning.
The shark fin on
Ich freue mich schon erst auf dem PC zu zocken. Ich glaube, die 3090 wird rasieren. Ich könnte es ja theoretisch auch mal just for fun ausprobieren. Weil du kannst ja...
And there's this new icon, right in the
Oder?
bottom
Doch, du kannst Game Pass-Spiele von der Xbox auch einfach auf PC spielen, oder? Zumindest bei den meisten geht das, glaube ich. Weil es ist fast immer Crossplay eigentlich bei Xbox.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Das ist das Geile. Ich habe das mit Ori ja auch so gemacht, weil da ja die One X-Version noch so laggy war, bin ich ja irgendwann auf die PC-Version gewechselt und da war alles schmackhaft. Und du kannst den Safe übernehmen, ist halt so geil.
If you need to get over a speed bump or pull up into your drive, then you might put it into this mode. It also kind of smooths out some of the lines, looks a bit sleeker. The cool thing about that is you can just click that button whenever as you're driving around the world, and it really changes the performance of the car as well.
I was about to ask how you would like actively use it in Forza. Actually, like, was there a Sunday drive version of the car versus a race mode?
That is literally what it is, to be honest. This probably isn't the place that car would mostly at home, smashing through this poor.
Gibt es auch für PS5? Nein. Microsoft exklusiv. Ja, das geht, aber du brauchst den richtigen Pass. Ach so, geht das nur mit dem Game Pass Ultimate?
As you can tell, we're in a new biome that we haven't shown before, which is the Mexican farm field, which is, I guess, farmland is a staple of Horizon games by now. And definitely for Horizon 5, we have like some unique Mexican crops, which Andy will drive by. I think we saw him driving.
Gut, dass ich eine 3090 schon habe, aber trotzdem für den erhöhten Preis gekauft.
So these are Mexican
Egal.
beans. Yeah, bean plants.
Für mich lohnt es sich, ja.
I think it's worth saying as well at this juncture that we are currently looking at Xbox Series X gameplay, but it is a development build, so if you happen to spot any weird little quirks and bugs, then that is...
Warum zockst du heute nicht Fortnite Cup?
Hey, it might even crash.
Bro?
Well, hopefully
wouldn't tempt fate with that one.
More beans, and here we have some another crop, sorghum. And the cool thing with sorghum, because it's so tall and you could squash them, you could actually make some really
Den Wagen kannst du zerschrotten nach der Fahrt.
In the fields.
Leave messages for other players.
You can leave messages for other players, yeah.
And contrary to what Andy may have made you believe, there are actually roads within the farmland as well.
Warum tust du das Forza-Gameplay jetzt noch an? Wieso, ist doch das Geilste bisher.
This looks like my go-to sort of, I'm just going to drive really fast over a hill and get somewhere car.
I think, right now we'll cut away and just do a little switch.
Oh, we're on to the next car, Ari. Okay, so the next one, what's this? What are we going to be looking at?
We are going to check out the 1967 Mark I Ford Escort. So from going from one of the hottest, newest cars in the world, we're going to take a look at something a little bit more of a classic motor. And there it is, the Mark I Ford Escort, an absolute icon, honestly. I think Andy's going to tell us a bit more about this one. Andy, what's cool about this?
Okay, so this is quite a fitting car because this car took part in a rally in 1970 from the UK to Mexico.
Okay.
So I guess that's sort of a Horizon 4 to 5 transition there.
Interesting
yes,
lore
it's
about it.
a 16,000-mile rally across the world there, and yeah, and this car won. So it's based
30, 90 für 1650 Euro kann ich mir fast nicht vorstellen.
Which they beefed up to handle all of the terrain that it would have to handle.
Auf Discord kam keine Benachrichtigung über den Stream. Was? Ich dachte, wenigstens Discord funktioniert immer.
For the time, they look really kind of modern.
Oder meinst du
Psychonauts?
Psychonauts?
Yeah, so the big bubble-style rally arches. It's got on the front of it, if I try and not hit anything, the big bull bar, sort of rough bumper on the back as well, and the little individual lights, which are different to the factory car as well. So everything just to make it, as easy to fix on the road as possible.
And where is it that we're at now? This is over by the coast, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've transitioned from farmland through a little bit of jungle, and now we're actually at the tropical coast. I think we'll do another car switch right now.
Oh, wait, look at that.
Yeah.
Psychonauts kam, dieser Stream nicht.
We'll take a look at that in a second.
Okay, so up next is another car.
Muss los.
This is going to be, I'm gonna say it, another Bronco.
This is this is another Bronco. There are actually 4 separate versions of the Bronco in the game. All awesome. All have their own personalities and reasons for being there. This one's a Baja one, isn't it, Andy?
Yes, that's right.
So we have obviously the Bronco Badlands is on the cover. We have the classic 1975 Bronco. We have the Bronco Ultra 4, which was actually in the initial drive as well. You kind of thought to jump over the Porsche 911 in the jungle section.
Ich hab auch mal so Bock, in Mexiko Urlaub zu machen.
Andy, please.
Yeah.
Stimmt, geil.
These people are on holiday.
Better look out.
So yeah, the tropical coast is definitely one compared to the west, the rocky coast. Definitely like the ideal kind of vacation destination. The ideal visual you see when thinking of Mexico.
And as perfect postcard it does look at the moment, if you're playing in storm season, this is one of the areas that can, when the weather conditions are right, can have tropical storms, which turn it from this perfect paradise into a really kind of like intense, exciting, and visceral like storm experience.
Wow.
Which is a really cool thing to just drive through.
The idea of calling it a perfect paradise after Andy's been through.
Yeah.
I know, right?
It's ironic, isn't it?
I guess, we'll do another
car change.
Yeah.
So many car changes here. So the next one, where are we going next? What have we
Nee, in
got?
Türkei war ich noch nicht, nur auf Durchreise bei dem
Ford F450
Flughafen.
Super Duty, which is a pretty exciting car for us as well, isn't it? It's an absolutely massive truck. It's a dually as well, so it's got 4 wheels on that back axle, like two wheels side by side each side. Means it's just got like ridiculous grunt in the back. It can go over any terrain, and it's absolutely massive.
That is a big, yeah. Look at that. So what's that? I mean, to me, that tells me that's an off-road vehicle, right? I'm trying to think, like, in a very sort of way, like, what I would pick this car to do, like, cross-country or those sort of, like, off-road races, right?
I think
Also für 1600 bekommst du nur eine 3080er.
In real life, you'd probably... It could also be a work truck or even an everyday truck if you're a truck person. But yeah, it's certainly it's got that Ford Tough DNA, hasn't it? So yeah, it's built for the road, built for off-road, built for doing your work in it, built for chucking all your camping gear in the back or a jet ski or something.
Everyone's camping gear in the back.
Hopefully we stumble upon one of our ambient trucks.
Kommen alle Life is Strange Teile für die Switch? Nee. Remastered vom ersten.
6.7 Liter diesel engine.
Before the Storm und Trucalas.
Insane.
Der zweite Teil nicht, glaube ich.
Right. Fit your house in the bed on the back.
All that, yeah.
Aber es wurde sowieso verschoben, ne?
American vehicle.
Wie immer.
And where is it on the map are we at the moment, Don? So
we are in Arid Hills, which is perfect to show off the off-roading and power of this F450. We're in the Arid Hills, and the Arid Hills it's very kind of wild with these dense pockets of trees, which makes it really fun to when you're beelining across
Kommt die
the
nächsten
world,
Tage noch mehr von der Gamescom. Ich weiß nur, morgen Hauptevent, Opening Night. Mehr ist mir nicht bekannt.
As well. The Arid Hills actually sits just outside of Guanajuato. So that's why Guanajuato is so undulating, because it's set in a nest of hills.
This is one of my favorite areas for Eliminator. To grab a good off-road car with a bit of suspension movement and then just lurk around here, and any unsuspecting car which doesn't have that suspension movement can get eaten alive.
I love the idea of you guys just having like an afternoon where you're just set
Doch,
each
der
other
zweite
in the
kommt auch.
Eliminator.
That is absolutely
echt?
Friday afternoon.
Love it. Is there any like unbeaten champions at the moment?
No, there's not anyone unbeaten. It's quite hard, I think, to stay unbeaten and eliminate when there's so many
Alles
players.
wird verschoben, nur Legend Arceus nicht.
And then here we're transitioning into the canyon biome.
And we haven't seen the canyon yet either.
Traurigerweise ja.
No, we haven't seen it since the E3 demo.
Yeah,
it's
Aber Game Freak ist so unfähig. Selbst mit einem weiteren Jahr glaube ich nicht, dass es großartig besser wird.
Right. Switch to
switch up. So we're going to go through the canyon with another new car. And what's this one going to be?
So we saw a few Fords. Now we're going to check out the Porsche Macan Rally Raid. So this, as you can see, is this isn't a Macan as you would.
Oh Gott, was ist das für ein Design?
This is one that's been built by LP Racing, as it says on the back, who are actually kind of an aftermarket provider of motorcycle parts for like really performance motorcycles, but they also have a motorsports arm that do motorcycle racing and also endurance car racing. And this is one of the cars that they've built for. Is it for the Baja?
This is more sort of Dakar style.
Dakar,
racing,
sorry.
But, yeah, it's quite cool. It's, if the Escort Mexico was the sort of 1960s version, this is the modern version of the go anywhere, endure everything racing style.
Gut gelandet im Wasser, passt schon.
I think you saw you in his rearview mirror.
Yeah. I showed him how to do it.
Autowäsche mal anders.
So Dom, what can you tell us about the canyons as we go through it here? It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so the canyon's really all about scale and just the impressive rock cliff faces. And kind of just
thinking.
It's actually during sunset and sunrises you get amazing sunlight. So I know for photographers it's a great area to get some photography.
Yeah, because of those huge like rock cliff faces as well, it's like one of the best locations in the game to really take advantage of the ray traced audio. So if you're in a
Bin
car
auch schon so hyped, ey, nächsten Dienstag neues Auto holen. Let's go.
It really makes everything feel like you're nestled in a real place. Sneak peek of the train tracks as well.
Oh yeah.
Also die meiste Zeit werde ich safe im Dschungel und im Wald verbringen. Feiere ich einfach am meisten.
It looks like a really fun place to drive through. It's like, because of the hills, it doesn't tell me there's a lot of shortcuts over this area. So actually it's the type of place where you just enjoy being on the road.
Yeah, it is right. This is one of the places where in real life you'd go there just for the drive.
Exactly.
Yeah, you weren't actually going anywhere. You just drove there, drove the roads, and then we're like, let's drive it back again.
Soak up a bit of nature.
Let's try a bit of off-road.
Yeah.
Oh, train track again.
There we go. You know where you're going, Andy.
Just about.
I mean, that's the great thing about the canyon. You have like a good off-road experience, plus you have a good on-road experience as well.
Aber leider doch nicht so viele Tiere, ne? Schade.
Let's try and get back on road again.
Oh, train track again. Don't stay there too long.
Leasing, ja, klar. Auto immer leasen.
Right.
And yeah.
We're gonna check out another car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got one more to go through.
Kaufen könnte ich auch
And
gar
this is
nicht.
staying in the Porsche family, this one, isn't it now?
It is, yes. So that one was the Porsche Macan. That was a purpose-built racing machine. This one is a car that
Wird der Panamera verkauft? Nö, das war ja auch ein Leasingwagen. Ich habe lange überlegt, ob ich mir den holen soll.
Porsche Taycan Turbo S, which is Porsche's brand new performance electric vehicle.
So actually the second electric car on the stream today as well.
Yes, so the AMG One is a hybrid, so it's got an electric motor. This is 100% electric, and it's
schon sehr geil.
A fantastic car. So the way Porsche have approached this with their very first EV is they wanted to recreate the driving experience of a 911, but in an electric vehicle, and that's especially difficult because it obviously has to have a massive battery.
Aber ich bleib dann doch beim Hybrid erstmal.
Wow.
And despite that, pretty incredible.
Es würde aber nur zum Tiere überfahren einladen.
60s in 2.6 seconds.
Oh, ja, stimmt, da hast du recht.
It's, you know, I haven't had the joy of driving one, unfortunately, but
Teil kann nur 0,5 versteuern, aber Hybrid auch. Hybrid auch.
Sorry.
Sorry, mate. Yeah.
It's nice to know Andy drives like me too.
Yeah, I thought I was in the UK again. Celebrity owners
Nur wenn Betriebswagen. Genau.
Oh.
And apparently someone told me just before we came on air, Bill Gates has one as well.
Oh, as you do.
Yeah, so perhaps not the car for everybody.
Sonst geisteskrank.
But it's...
But maybe your dreams can one day
Muss man schön absetzen.
And if not, Forza Horizon 5 out in November. Play it then.
Great plug, Charlie.
Thank you.
Remembering why we're all here.
Thank you. I like that little area on the corner there.
So you've driven it, Andy. Does it do it? Did it feel like a 911?
Oh, absolutely. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible car.
One thing I wanted to point out here.
Batterieleer oder was?
Butterfly.
Yeah, so actually,
Siehst du? Dann doch lieber der Hybrid.
In Mexico,
Kapi.
there's a big monarch butterfly migration that happens in the canyon.
Weil, wo hast du jetzt da eine E-Tankstelle?
So yeah, we kind of represented that in our game as well.
This is such a stunning additional element to add. Because it would only be if you go and stop here, you would see that. Because normally people are like bombing through it all. That's so authentic. I love it. Look at them all.
Yeah, so you'll experience this in the spring season, and then it won't be there in spring, obviously, but yeah.
Lovely. I think we wanted to drop one more
Tesla,
bit we
wieso?
wanted to show.
Der ist doch auch elektrisch.
I don't know how to set this up. What do you guys want? What are we going to do now?
So we actually revealed this car on social media last week, and we just thought it'd be cool to give it a little very brief run around. This is the Sierra RX3. It's a UTV, so super off-road vehicle, but it also is actually really high performance on asphalt as well. It can do both types of racing. Incredible suspension travel if Andy wants to give it a whirl.
Oh, das ist ja auch schnucklig.
A lot of power going to the rear wheels only, so it's a bit of a handful. Yeah, but there's just we're heading up into the arid hills now, which again is just the I think the perfect location to show some of the cool stuff that this particular car can do.
Mit Powerbank aufladen.
As Andy decides to.
Oh, Andy.
Alter, du siehst bis dahinter.
All right, and there we go.
Amazing. Yeah. But that's the very authentic Forza experience. Thank you so much, Andy. Right, well, with that, we're actually going to move over to arguably one of my favorite parts of the stream. We are now going to look at some community questions.
Das ist der Vorteil, wenn man ein Auto liest. Die Leasingraten kannst du werblich absetzen, wenn es ein Firmenwagen ist und du die Voraussetzungen erfüllst, wenn du einen Wagen kaufst, dann ist es anders. Also es lohnt sich mehr zu leasen, wirtschaftlich. Aber da gibt es verschiedene Ansätze, 1%-Regelung und all so ein Quatsch.
That can't be from Twitter because we only just revealed who Haley is on this.
Oh, well, that's a good right
So Kira is still looking after the festival in Britain.
Okay.
She's still at the Forza Horizon 4 festival.
Aber einen Firmenwagen würde ich immer leasen.
Filling a similar role at the Mexico festival. So she's one of the first group of Horizon people who've arrived in Mexico to set up this new festival.
Perfect. Wonderful. I've now dawned on me that
Mach AMG VIP Leasing. Ich mag das Design nicht so, leider.
Forget the bit I just said. The next question comes from Mink WR, who asks, I have a question. Is the game cross-play so Xbox users can join PC users?
Oh.
Yes, but Steam will function the same way Forza Horizon 4 did, so it won't be cross-save, but it will be cross-play.
Perfect. Wonderful. Nice and simplistic. Okay. Right. Next question comes from Wolf Sealers.
Also Crossplay aktiv, aber Steam ein bisschen separat. Also mit Save scheinbar, aber nicht übergreifend.
It will function very similar to how it did in Forza Horizon 4.
Warum auch immer. Weird.
I love that it's just like a really passionate community making sure that all of their favorite features are still there. That's essentially what this segment is. I love it. Okay, the next one comes from Oof. Thank you.
Seit wann Porsche? 2015, glaube ich.
Train on the map? Yes, there is. We have mentioned it, but I don't know if you want to give some more detail while Oof is in chat about the map, about the train.
Bei einem Kauf muss das Auto über die Nutzungsdauer abschreiben. Ja, es gibt da super viele Varianten und Wege und Voraussetzungen. Aber jeder, den ich kenne, auch Steuerberater, sagt, mach Leasing.
From chat seems to come from King Sean, who simply asks, is that a Supra?
Yes, Sean, it was a Supra. Back at the start of the stream, yes, we showed a Supra in that initial car select, and that will be added to your garage at the start of the game for everybody.
Perfect. Now, these are the questions that
Ist ja auch, also das kann man sich ja auch eher leisten. Jetzt so ein Taycan kostet in der Sport-Ding. Taycan S Plus kostet 250, glaube ich. Kann kein Mensch zahlen.
I'm going to hold fire on that one, though, and cover that one in a later
Außer
stream.
du hast
yes,
200.000 GameStop-Aktien für 50 Cent gekauft und für 300 verkauft.
Lovely. The next question comes from Reaktion, who says, how extensive is the tunnel system?
Warum kein guter alter Porsche 911? Ich hätte gerne 4 Sitze und einen großen Kofferraum, deswegen.
So there are no entrances through those tunnels into the city, but it is the most extensive tunnel network in the game. It's about 2 kilometers of length.
Welcher bester Porsche deiner Meinung nach?
Wonderful. Scottish Pancake.
Panamera Turbo E-Hybrid, GT3, GT2 RS, der ein oder andere 911er und der Taycan S Plus. Oder wie ist die höchste Form? Wie heißt die? Taycan S? Digga, ich weiß es gerade nicht. Lost.
Great handle as well, Scottish Pancake. So yes, seasons are still very much an important part of the game. I think we mentioned a few times about different things you can see in different seasons. We, as posed in the question, yes, we have tried to replicate the seasonality of Mexico. We have in the game, it'll still say spring, summer, autumn, winter, but then each one of them is suffixed with a line that explains what it is in that country. So autumn is storm season, winter is dry season, spring is hot season, and summer is wet season, which allows people from a temperate climate like
Turbo und Turbo S.
In Canada.
Ja, also Turbo S meine ich.
To be like, what even are seasons in Mexico? And it kind of like right out of the box it says like winter is dry season, so you can kind of grasp straight away and kind of get a feel for what it's going to be like there. Because they have hardly any rainfall at all throughout the winter.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
Yeah, weirdly though, at the same time, at elevation they do get snow. So
we've seen that on the volcano, right?
Yeah, exactly. So high areas like on top of the volcano, you'll still get snow.
Yeah, I think it also helps you let you know what season's next. You know, the following week. Just having spring, winter, summer, autumn.
Wonderful. So the next question comes from Cyrus Luna, who asks, I think that might be Sirius Luna actually, will there be a drift adventure at launch?
Yes, there will, Sirius Luna. So we have, it won't be, we've changed multiplayer up a bit, so it's not online adventure anymore. It's now called the Horizon Open, and you'll be able to take on
GT2 und 3 sind 911er. Ja, schon, aber trotzdem mache ich dann nochmal einen Unterschied und Porsche eigentlich auch.
Accessible and easy to get into, and easy to have a lot of fun in as possible.
Perfect, love that. Next question comes from Kiesler, who asks, we know about
aber dieses Finanzamt nicht rumgeheult. Doch, doch. Aber ich konnte sie überzeugen.
Yes, so Don, do you wanna?
Yeah, so we reworked a lot of how the vinyls.
Aber das stimmt schon, das Finanzamt akzeptiert nicht jeden Firmenwagen.
Just to give the users
das ist auch nochmal an verschiedene Anforderungen gebunden.
And if you're on Series S or X, we've also massively increased the resolution of your of your car paints as well. So whereas you used to get like kind of fuzzy lines around the edges of your decals, they'll be much smoother now if you're on a Series S or X.
Brilliant, love that. Next question: what's the leveling system?
Panamera passt auch eher zur Altersgruppe von dir. Hallo? Wenn ich Single wäre, würde ich wahrscheinlich
yes, so we are going to cover the
campaign
in more detail on the next stream in 2 weeks' time. But to answer the question more directly, the actual player leveling system is more like Forza Horizon 4's. The campaign is quite different though, so we'll cover that off in the next stream.
Want to watch? If you want to come back and watch that one. Next question from.
Wie viel km in einem normalen Jahr?
Can you tell us more about the radio stations?
Yeah, so we actually heard a bit of music, didn't we, earlier on?
Das ist sehr schwierig zu sagen, weil wir jetzt schon 2 Jahre Corona haben und dadurch sind halt sämtliche Events ausgefallen. Dann keine Kooperation mehr mit Nintendos, fällt ja auch jetzt dauerhaft weg. Aber früher waren es schon so 15.000, 18.000 Kilometer.
Brand new pieces for us that are curated to particular gameplay experiences. In terms of the radio station more broadly, we'll go into more detail now on a future stream, I think.
Perfect. I want to know a lot about that as well, so I'll keep you posted on that. Finally, I understand we have a question from a celebrity, our old friend Tommy Bargains, who asked, I won't do the accent.
Aber du musst dich ja auch an den Leasingvertrag halten, sonst zahlst du ja unnormal drauf.
Thank you, Tommy. I tried negotiating with Playground Games to get super early access, but they drive a hard bargain. Is there a way I can somehow feel the magic of Forza Horizon 5 in Forza Horizon 4
Als Single 911 GT3 Turismo. Ja,
yes,
vorstellbar.
Yes, there is. That is a thing that you can do. So if you log into Forza Horizon 4 now, go over to Message Center, or at least I hope it's now, go over to Message Center and you will have received a gift. That gift is a VW Golf R, but it's not just any normal VW Golf R. This is one that has been adorned with a beautiful livery created by using some of our murals from Forza Horizon 5. So you can get a little taste of Forza Horizon 5 in Forza Horizon 4 right now. So go and get it, Tommy Bargains, I guess.
Yeah, Tommy.
Wieso keine Koop mehr mit Nintendo? Musst du den Breath of the Wild Part schauen, wo ich drüber geredet habe. Aber ich denke, ich sag auch noch mal zu Silvester was dazu.
Keep an eye on your in-game message center to receive this beautiful mural art-inspired liveried car. And unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. So to keep up with the latest Forza Horizon 5 news, updates, and details on more Let's Go live streams by following the Forza Horizon social channels. And please stay tuned to the Forza channels tomorrow for Forza Monthly for all the latest on the Forza universe. Thanks for tuning in today. See you next time. As always, everyone, adios.
Ich glaube, das war's jetzt. Ja gut. Also bis auf Forza war da halt jetzt nicht so viel, ne? Da fand ich noch Dying Light 2 und was war das andere? Da hier dieses Weltraum-Game mit dem Sauger. Top-Beschreibung, ich weiß. Fand ich am interessantesten. Rest hat jetzt nicht so gejuckt. Ist in Aussicht, dass die Koop mit Nintendo wiederkommt. Ziemlich ausgeschlossen. Dazu müsste ich halt sämtliche Mods sein lassen und auch alle Spiele in Original spielen, somit schlechtere Qualität und so weiter und so fort. Die sind halt gerade krass auf dem Trip. Also ja, sich von allen zu trennen irgendwie so, weil bei ihnen gerade heftig läuft. Aber ich bin mal gespannt, was nach der Switch ist. Müssen die wissen. Egal. Ja, danke für den Stream, fürs Dabeisein. War trotzdem unterhaltsam und Forza ist echt geil. Das, glaube ich, können wir festhalten zum Ende. Gerne in den Psychonaut-Stream reinschauen, ist oben verlinkt. Und auf jeden Fall einen schönen Abend. Ciao!